And we are following breaking news right now as COVID-19 continues to wreak havoc this week in the NFL. Rams receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is now tested positive for COVID-19. That per our NFL insider Josina Anderson. There's been a surge in cases. The Rams have now reportedly shut down their facility, entered the league's intensive protocols. This on the heels of Jalen Ramsey, Tyler Higbee going on the list Monday, 3 over the weekend, including running back Darrell Henderson, cases rising across the league. The Browns have now added 8 players to the COVID list, 37 overall tested positive yesterday, a record for the NFL in one day since the pandemic began. So let's welcome in NFL insider Josina Anderson to talk about what exactly is going on right now. But let's start with the Rams. Odell Beckham Jr., the latest to test positive there. What's going on with the Rams in the COVID cases?
Well, as you know, they're just coming off of a big win last night against the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. Was a part of that game, had over 70 receiving yards and a touchdown, scoring 3 touchdowns in the last 3 Rams games. But clearly yesterday was playing as of right now, per this test, positive, unless for some reason it comes back as a false positive, which would be great news for him. But definitely per a league source, that is what he was just informed within the hour. And as you mentioned it, the Rams closing their facility, entering enhanced protocols, not the only team around the league, as just the NFL is coming off record cases in terms of the amount of player positives yesterday, 37 across the league. That includes the Browns, that includes players like Jarvis Landry, Jedrick Wills, per the release from the team. And we will have to see if even the Browns will continue to have any more positives. I know the league is monitoring, and as of right now, they're saying the Browns game will continue right now with the Oakland Raiders, but that is something that we'll see. And really, this just goes back to a larger point as to whether the NFL needs to review its protocols that it currently has set forth, even with respect to the testing cadence for fully vaccinated players. Now, the league has taken an extra step with the recent memo that went out to all teams, letting them know that Tier 1 and Tier 2 staff have to receive the booster shot by December 27th. That's an additional step. That is a good step. That part should be commended, but it is an open discussion as to whether that is enough with regards to the amount of spread that we are seeing entering in the colder months and when players are coming off of a bye week and also the holidays.
And Justina, just to make sure clear for people at home, those players who are not vaccinated, they're getting tested every single day. But for people who are fully vaccinated, they're just getting tested once per week as of right now. And the Players Association says, hey, like you said, we would like that to be ramped up a little bit.
And it kind of shows an improvement, rather, is what the word I'm looking for. So earlier in the year, going into this season, it was originally 2 weeks. And they did make the improvement to shorten the testing cadence from 2 weeks to 1 week. So that is an improvement. However, 7 days is 7 days. And that is a long time for a player who is potentially fully vaccinated to potentially still be going through a facility positive, okay, and or staff. It doesn't have to be a player or whomever in the building, administrative, and potentially passing this around. And it's not just about the safety and the health of the club members, but whomever that infected personnel may spread it to, as far as their family or people in the community. I think it's definitely worthy of a discussion as to whether it needs to be shortened. It definitely makes sense, and it is logical because, as we know, yes, you can have the vaccination. Yes, you can have the booster, but the vaccinations nor tests prevent infection. It gives you information and ability to perhaps curb the spread.
Josina, let's talk about what it means for both of these teams here. So the Browns playing on Saturday. The Rams are playing on Sunday, of course, coming off a short week there. At the beginning of the season, the NFL had said, hey, look, we rescheduled a bunch of games last season. This season, if you cannot play, it will count as a loss. With these two teams, does it look, you mentioned the Browns at least, everything's on schedule. Does it look like both these teams are going to play this week?
For now. And you don't know if it takes, how many more positives does it take? Does it take the quarterbacks getting it? It shouldn't take that, because anybody who is positive is important. And I understand, obviously, numbers is a factor because you have to be able to field 11 players on the field in order to run the plays. And then obviously, typically you have 53 players active, right? So we'll see. Continuing to monitor it. I did receive a text from somebody who suggested to me they think that the league needs to take a step back this week and just make sure, for all the results that it's getting, that that there's not even more of a problem to be reviewed and looked at. I don't know if we need to go that far, but certainly it shows you and it illuminates the concern that people have. And this is not just from players. This is also, from people behind the scenes who are looking at this problem. You saw the Washington football team just came out and announced that it has 9 players on its reserve COVID list. A lot of players.
Josina Anderson, we appreciate it. We know you're going to stay close to your phone, and that means we will stay in constant contact with you as this situation continues to unfold across the NFL in regards to positive COVID cases. We'll have more HQ after this.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.